Minutes to the top of the hour. Welcome back on the AM show. It's time for the news review. One of my favorite segments, actually, because on Fridays I get to host my brother from another mother. But the segment brought to us all by Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic. Now, what are they offering you? More, but for now, they want you to pass by and for free get prostate screening if you're a man, or get fertility screening if you're a woman. All gratis, completely for free. Now make way or make your tracks to that institution. Here's where you can find them. Here in Accra, Spintex opposite the Shell signboard. In Kumasi, Kronoma here behind the Angel Educational Complex. Takrady Anaji State, they also in Tema Community 22, Techiman Hanswa, and Esiama and Zima. Where can you dial, or what numbers can you dial? 0244 867 That's how you can reach them. Alternatively, 0274 234 321. Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic, the end to chronic disease, but only the start of the news review. And I get to do this. My guy.
Yep.
Now, as I say. That's one there.
Yeah.
You remember that song? Charlie, what's up?
Yeah,
your outfit is lovely too. It appears almost as though we had communicated that would use shades of light brown or orange.
Similar
and stuff.
shades,
yeah,
but different fabrics, different designs. And
but
I love yours.
You're always on point too.
Well,
like you always spick and span. You be nice guy. What do you say?
A hunter boy.
Chupa chops.
A hunter boy. I'm a shatter there, Charlie.
You mess up. Anyway, good to have you on the show this morning.
Good to be here, bro.
I have the Ghanaian Times Daily Guide, new weekend crusading guide. What do you have?
Daily Graphic, the finder, and the publisher, the Ghanaian publisher.
All right. I always like us to spend the first few minutes talking about stories that have happened and stuff. For me, I don't know whether you were here when I made this prediction that as far as that Al Jazeera documentary, Gold Mafia, was concerned, it would be interesting to see how it panned out because I had my doubts. I felt they would respond, but I had my doubts about retracting and apologizing as the presidency asked for. We now know that they have said that
they won't apologize, they won't retract.
Should I say Chia? They are saying... And now we'll see whether the presidency or the Jubilee House will ask who said Chia.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the whole point.
But yesterday, lawyer Samson Ayeni explained that the presidency itself as an entity cannot sue Al Jazeera. What they can do is that the person involved, the president, or an individual will then be the one to sue. But we also told from the presidency that Al Jazeera brought a lengthy
they substantiated
and they are studying. So I'm sure we'll get to know the outcome or the next leg of action to be taken in subsequent days to come. But it will be an interesting development for us to pursue to see where it ends up and how it progresses really. Will the president take on Al Jazeera? How will we? Because the president said it buttered the image of the country and the presidency.
Oh, it did.
So how
it did, most definitely. One of the reasons I want them to pursue this to its logical conclusion is, you see, you can't take these matters for granted.
Yeah.
It sullies not just the presidency, it sullies Ghana. Mind you, the president is the head of this entire body corporate called Ghana on a larger scale. He is the father of the country. So if he gets, as street language will say, dissed, we've been dissed. It means you've also been insulted. I mean, that's not in reference to the president, but I'm just saying that any slur cast on him affects us as well. So for me, I want them to pursue this to its logical conclusion. But the other reality is, with some of these international bodies, that's where sometimes you'll be asked, is international law? Because on the international plane, it's a little tricky, with some of these. But we'll see how it pans out if the person, the president, decides to take this matter on. And I've said here time and again that too many times we're seeing the president's name, the vice president's name mired in certain things. This time, I want some clarity on it beyond what Al Jazeera has
from the education lawyer Samson Ayeni gave yesterday, it means the president can't sue Al Jazeera here in Ghana.
Exactly.
So let's see how it progresses. But I also have I went to Hiawa. I don't know if you've been there before. You've heard.
No, but I've heard of the place.
Okay, so Hiawa is a popular mining community, but not.
I do know it's in the western region.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, this is a place where I went to a school, and the only structure they have is made of, wooden. Is made of wood, so they have wooden structure. I think there's only one concrete structure that's for the cages, but the rest are wooden structures. But I tell you what, Ben, this is a school that they don't even have a proper sanitary facility, so they have to resort to attending to nature's call in the bush behind the school. I'm told anytime it rains, they have to close because the rains gush through the classrooms and they even beat the kids. So anytime the weather changes a little, then the school has to close.
We did something on a similar school somewhere in the Volta region or T region, and for them, monitor lizards actually came and sacked teachers. You know what they kata happened because teachers and students were running. Similar situation.
It's interesting how we still, in this time and age, we have some of these problems still on our hands. And the interesting thing is that yesterday I had to speak to the DCE, and he sort of, well, you should have come to my end when you came there. And I was like, oh, really?
That is...
Yes, I No, the thing is, I even
so went... So they'll do what? Sugarcoat it?
No. I even went there, Ben, but he is bringing another story. You know that for many of these offices, these public offices, on Fridays, you are likely not to meet a lot of their
staff at work.
There,
at
work.
It's true.
I went...
Very true, my brother.
When I went there, on Friday, when I got to the office, the DC was not there. The coordinating director was not there. The only people who were there were people who could not really have a say on anything.
Nana?
Yeah.
Wasumo,
and
Asempa.
Exactly.
Your DC, some of them are not at post.
The DC, he is even bringing up this matter. That
on Friday. But I'm sure, wait, did you find out why he wasn't there? Maybe he could have a valid reason.
No. We were told that he was attending to it. He was going for a funeral.
Well, he will also tell you
that how can you, Friday, you have to work. Go after work on Friday. Maybe leave. We got there around, I think it was between 10 and 11. How can you leave office around 11 a.m. and attend a funeral? It should be if after 3 p.m. I'll agree with you. But not early in the morning when there's business for you to attend to. And do you even need me coming there before you attend to this problem? Oh. So the people we give power to, the DCEs, they are the development agent, proper. Sometimes we leave them and go to the MPs demanding accountability because we vote for the MPs. But the people...
The MPs actually are not... And exactly. Yesterday I was making this point to Vera Haibo. She's gunning for the Hohoi seat. Okay. She's one of 2 women out of 6, a pool of 6. And I was telling her that is the situation. And that is part of our problem. I am on this migration page, like a lot of diasporans, Ghanaian diasporans, some of them in the UK, US, wherever. And we had a conversation yesterday, and I was pointing out that was part of our core problem with members of parliament. The last time I had Roxanne Nelson Dafempo here, South Dai MP, together with Professor Kingsley Nyako, he's a professor now, a member of parliament for Kwadaso. We had this discussion, and it is not the first time. Roxanne, for example, is bleeding. You know why? Because the primary in his constituency is coming off, and he must dish out a lot more. Look, some of these members of parliament are spending 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, 50,000 plus a month. Some of them in smaller constituencies, maybe 10,000. Stuff. Yes,
some even
they are doing that.
Some even spending in a week. The 20,000 you spoke about.
Granted,
in a week.
And I'm trying to say, when you have a system like that, where people must attend funerals, like you see this DC, and do something.
Yeah.
One told me some time back that, I think one of those in the Northern Belt, that I've forgotten whether it's Al-Hassan Suini. I've forgotten. So let's pretend I didn't mention that. But someone was trying to put up a foundation. And guess what? They came to Honorable to give them money. We've created a system of expectancy where, if you are the MP, then you must perform these duties, else you'll get booted out. And what does that breed? It will breed corruption because, Charlie, what job will you do now? How much do they pay the members of parliament? We know their salary scale, even if they are ministers. So how are they getting those kinds of money?
It's a question we need to ask ourselves. But the point is that if we want development, the right people to look at or to chase in terms of demanding what sort of
DCs,
development.
MCs, those at that level.
They are the people who are giving budgetary allocations to ensure that the places they man develop. What are they doing really? So if a DCE, you have a bus structure in your area and you want, people to really hail you. I'm told that one of the teachers there sent me a message yesterday that he's called the district director there after seeing the story on Joy that they are dragging his name in the mud and therefore whatever. I'm like, you are a DC for Christ's sake, for nothing at all. You should ensure that you're doing things that you'll be remembered for when you're not there. That's your approach. But I'm told that it will be large on your show this morning. So we'll look forward.
We're getting into that matter, but again, this is where I'd like to sound this warning and caution politicians, because oftentimes I don't know whether they say there's something in the political realm where once you get in, especially as the commander-in-chief, certain things maybe you want to do, you're fettered, you can't do it. I don't know whether that's the situation. But in respect of schools, because we're talking education, you remember that video clip we played of former president, the vice president.
Vice president. Then the running mate.
The running mate of now President Akufo-Addo. Bemoaning the situation and how can this happen in any... We still have schools under trees today. In fact, so many of them. I remember the last time, a little over a year, we had this confab at the Information Ministry, and I brought up some data, actually World Bank data sourced from the Ghana Education Service itself, talking about the thousands of schools, not hundreds, thousands we had. I don't know the current situation, but we still have them. Schools under trees, schools without, like, was it the Pandai district? You remember? When the education minister said some station, some documentary, whatever. At least we've got desks going to that district. There was a deficit of 7,000. I know the first tranche was 5,000. And I think subsequently, I don't know whether the 2,000
At least positive outcome.
You have children on the bare floor. Sometimes even not properly cemented. So there are, and they are kneeling and they are, what kind of?
This country, it looks like we don't really have a plan to tackle some of these problems that confront us. Because, look, you don't need to have it all before you start to tackle the challenges that you face. So little by little, we could have been out of it. But sometimes I don't know the sort of plan we operate with. We just pray that we can really deal with some of the challenges that confront, because some of them are just basic, really. But Ben, it also brings up another question about the contribution of citizens, really. Someone yesterday was just asking, so what if the people in here couldn't they have put up a structure? And I'm like, well, maybe they started with a wooden structure, expecting the government to take over and turn it around, but they haven't done it. So
because there is a structure there.
Yeah.
Is it government that put up that structure?
We cannot tell.
We cannot tell.
Yes.
We do not know the dynamics of that. I do agree. And in some instances, you see it. I know communities where people have pooled resources and put up tarred roads.
Yeah.
I know communities where people have done things that government should do. But mind you, when you go to the bottom of the politics, why do we elect leaders in the first place? To deliver the bacon. They can't do everything all at once. Which is why I also feel sometimes we're too sparse in our developmental goals. I say, if any government is serious in this country, have thematic areas, not more than 4 or 5, and tackle them ruthlessly. So within my first 4 years, even if 4 years is all I have, I'm going to ensure there's no school under a tree, so to speak. In education, roads, there are so many legacy roads, so to speak. Some roads have been under construction since the inception of the Fourth Republic. Every tenure they are under construction, whether it is an avenue for kickbacks or whether the politicians milk them for whatever reason. They've been under construction because an administration starts, they don't end. There may be a judgment debt. There's a renewal of a contract. There's a new contract. Another sum is paid. Look at Commander. How many times have we? That is what I'm talking about. We could target certain thematic areas and say, Ghana 4, this is the plan. We are going to tackle everything, but more resources are going to be pumped into this. Education, paramount. You can't run away from it. And that's why sometimes I get aggrieved. Free SHS, wonderful. The implementation, not so much. But whenever you say anything in education, then people say free SHS. Why? Is everyone at the SHS level? How about the basic level?
Well, interesting. This same plan was something I gave to someone who came to seek my idea when he was running for MP. And I said, like this, have thematic areas and tell your people that maybe for this year, can we concentrate on doing A? Another year, we concentrate on doing B. That's how but if we keep doing the same things all the time, we won't get the
same thing, same results. Let's get into the papers. We have just about, 13 minutes. Let's make the most of it.
Well, Daily Graphic, and I love this picture of the Asante Hene and King Charles the third. Having a very hearty laugh there. I don't know the sort of joke that really brought out this laugh from the Asante Hene, but it's beautiful.
Please, this is royal laughter.
Yeah, it's just,
royal laughter.
It's just beautiful, really. It says King Charles III yesterday welcomed the Asante Hene Otumfuo Osei II and his wife, Lady Julia, to the Buckingham Palace ahead of the King's coronation tomorrow. Wow. Now, the Asante Hene and his wife are in London at the invitation of the royal family, joining monarchs and leaders from across the globe. King Charles was pictured yesterday with the Asante Hene as the pair cracked a joke. They will assemble at Westminster Abbey tomorrow for what is expected to be a feast of pageantry, marking the first coronation in over 70 years. I can't wait to feed my eye with what will be happening because I've not seen this before, you know. It was it a Swedish one? There was one, was it Netherlands or Swedish? They were coronating, is it a queen?
Crowning.
Yeah, forgetting. That one was not even like, it wasn't really like what we saw when the queen died. So you expect that this one, BBC will give us a very huge coverage. And so I'm expecting what this whole crowning will bring and how the event will go like. So tomorrow, I can't wait to feast my eye on what will be happening. But Daily Graphic also has a story about the stolen identity. Many at risk from SIM card re-registration. The SIM card re-registration process has slammed into controversy following revelations that the Ghana card of some members of the public have been used to register SIM cards that they do not own. Indeed, some SIM card owners are alarmed that their Ghana cards have been used on their blind side to register numbers that do not belong to them. The revelations have come about as the mobile network operators, the Ministry of Communication and Digitalization and National Communications Authority offered a check route through the short code *402*1# as a security assurance in order not to nullify the essence of the re-registration exercise. Have you checked yours, men?
Oh yeah, I have.
Is it intact?
Pepe. Are you checking yours now?
Yeah, I wanted to check mine. But
please go ahead.
I don't have
let's do this live.
I don't have my Ghana card yet.
Okay, yeah.
So
yeah,
I would have. Really
Wait, so you've not checked yours yet?
I haven't.
Let me look in my crystal ball. There are 9.5 numbers attached to yours.
I would sue, my network.
Sue waiting.
Why?
For here.
How would they do that?
Okay,
how did the numbers get my Ghana card? Really?
Jubilee House FD.
No. But you know one big problem that will confront us if we don't solve this. And someone can commit a crime.
Oh yeah, but that's exactly what we're talking
with a number, and once it's linked to your Ghana card, there's no way you can then try to extricate yourself from it. How do you justify that you're not the one?
Yeah.
When it's your identity on it. So this is a serious matter that the state has to confront with all that we have. Because you cannot prosecute, jail innocent people just because someone maliciously, linked their Ghana card to a certain number they know nothing of.
I believe especially those, there are certain places around Circle, hereabouts and in other places where you go and they give you pre-registered cards. That's what's going on. That's part of the problem. People are buying pre-registered cards. But ask yourself which Ghana card was used to register.
How did they get my Ghana card details, really?
That is a question for the gods.
Because, for example,
you have to ask Brother Bernard.
Maybe Brother Bernard will have an answer. But
maybe.
If I check and I have any other number, Ben, get ready. Even though you're not out of law school yet, but I'll get to a lawyer.
I hear you, boss.
Yeah, sure. So let's do other papers, Ben.
Well, the Ghanaian Times newspaper, Boku violence, government set to deploy special task force as national security and security heads tour hotspots. Anti-gay coalition backs 7 MPs to sail through primaries. Pictured there, Mr. Moses, for I'm winning, not Michael. And revenue mobilization exercise, ECG recovers 3.1 billion Ghana cedis. Yet to locate customers owing 1.53 billion. They're doing pretty well, aren't they? And the recoveries as well. Former NDC communications officer allegedly assaults radio presenter. This one, we must get into it.
Yeah.
This sebi nonsense must stop. Anyway, so let's get into the stories. In fact, I'll start with that one.
But can't we do anything in self-defense when someone attacks you in a radio?
As for self-defense, you can defend yourself.
Do we have a certain level I can go, or like I can use all the force I have?
In law, there's a term I just forget, but it must be sort of. It reminds me of Shakespeare's measure for measure. It must meet. I mean, it's like swatting a fly with a sledgehammer. Okay. You get it. Okay. Don't. So someone slaps you and you pick a gun and pull. That's excessive.
But
self-defense.
If I slap back, I'm okay. I'm good to go, right?
Oh, if the person is trouncing you and you have to defend yourself, I mean. So former NDC communications officer allegedly assaults radio presenter. And a radio presenter of Tamale-based Dagbon FM, Sadiq Garba, has been allegedly assaulted by a former NDC Northern Regional Communications Officer, Hadi Pagza. In my blunt thoughts today, I'll be talking about that as well. Garba was said to have been assaulted verbally and physically by Pagza during a live radio program on Wednesday. In a video circulating on social media, Mr. Pagza and one other man were seen storming the studio of Dagbon Radio. Now, the two men held up the presenter who was hosting a show and threatened to slap him if he made any comment. The host went out of the studio with the attackers. Garba, speaking to City News, said he criticized the NDC communicator for talking about the Abudu and Andani conflict on a campaign platform. Garba then said that Mr. Pagza didn't take his criticisms kindly and decided to attack him in the studio. How does that even happen? How?
And
are we losing it? How do you get up and say, if someone has insinuated something that is not, if someone has slandered you, where do you go?
There's a legal process for you to,
This person must be dealt with properly. Dealt with. Because this nonsense about, look at Ahmed Hussein Swale.
Yeah.
Look at him. Anyway, and another concern, no wonder, apart from these, we've seen so many of them, pastors bursting into studios and assaulting people, people carrying gun-toting members of our security services and all of that. This nonsense must stop.
It is because when it happens, the perpetrators are not really punished the way that it will serve as a deterrent to other people who are harboring the same intentions. If the earlier people who did the same were really punished, it won't get to where we are.
I agree.
Really?
I agree with you. In response to the tenuous security situation in the Boku municipality, plans are underway by the Ministry of National Security in collaboration with the Ghana Armed Forces and other relevant security institutions to deploy a special task force to areas within the municipality identified as hotspots of violence. I'm talking about Boku. Now, the decision to deploy the task force, according to a national security source, was taken after a delegation comprising of Mr. Edward Asumeni, National Security Coordinator, Major General Thomas Opompepra, Chief of the Army Staff, and other heads of security and intelligence agencies on yesterday paid a working visit to the Bazua military camp in the Binduri district of the Upper East region to interact with the people. Those are the stories there in the Ghanaian Times newspaper. Let's get into other papers.
Let's do the final. There's a story here that is a sort of an educative piece for all of us. You know, those who tilt their cars to fail. The MPA says filling fuel tanks to the brim is dangerous.
It is.
Many of us don't know.
It is very dangerous. There's a certain window that must be left.
Okay.
So the fuel can burn properly and all of that. Combustion, basically, per my layman's understanding. Okay. If you fill it to the brim, the possibility of the thing catching fire and an explosion in your car is very high.
Oh, Charlie, you know the thing, pa, because that's what they say here. Yeah. Because the MPA says that tilting vehicles on ramps to fill them to the brim could damage fuel tanks and lead to explosion and destruction of vehicles and lives. Now, many of us don't know. So when we go to the filling stations and then...
filling the toto. Look, I'll admit, I have been guilty of that until I found out that, hey, brother.
Okay, I have not been tilting my car. But after
No, not tilting. Not tilting it. No, as for the tilting, I have never done it.
After the care sound, I said, no, top up.
Exactly. So that one we've all been guilty of. What the care? Still, there we go.
Add. So it means that at the care, we should end there.
So you see, there are different dynamics. I know, for example, my car, I think it takes about, when I read the manual to the car, I think it took about 45 liters plus.
Okay.
But it has a very large reserve tank. That is actually where, that is what I've noticed. So, for example, if you run out, you can go on your reserves for quite a bit.
Sometimes.
So you must know, the problem is a lot of the vehicles we're bringing into the country, you don't even have a manual. But you can go and read about your type of vehicle. If you know the make, you know the year of manufacture. If you've been true to yourself, you can check. Know how many liters fill the tank and all of that, so that you can work within that. Because if, let's say it says 45, you do 50 or whatever, maybe, but once you hear the kekeke, you know, sometimes you can fill to the point where it gets so full that it now starts coming out.
Yeah. That's
I
what
think,
that's what I do.
But then the others too would tell you that, there is also this truth, certain truth, that if you fill to a certain level, I don't know whether it's because of the same combustion, you burn less fuel because it is pretty full. But you see, how to balance the act and not overdo it.
Well, let's follow MPA.
I think one of these days, Kojo,
we should
get someone who is very technical in this area to come and teach, not just us, but people. I know so many people are doing that.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's dangerous.
Can we make it more practical? Take him to a filling station. You know, do that.
Possible.
It will be interesting, you know, so that we don't keep making the simple mistake.
Don't steal our ideas.
I see you. They had it here.
All right, let's go ahead.
Anyway, I think
so our director, our producer has been gracious to give us some more time. We have some breathing space. So let's get into the stories.
Okay. Well, this story. U.S. increases non-immigrant.
Charlie. The matter chop hot. Hey, the matter make bloody.
Anyway, now the U.S. Department of State says it will increase fees for setting non-immigrant visa applications, including travel visas, now from $160 to $185. That's 15.6% increase. Now, the fee for B1, B2 visas for business and tourist travel, F visas for international students, J exchange visitor visas, and other visa classes not requiring a petition will increase from $160 to $185. So I've said about the percentage increase. Now, the fees for setting non-immigrant visas for temporary workers, HL, OPQ, and R categories will also go up from $190 to $205, representing 7.9% increase. A statement issued said the fee for the treaty trader, treaty investor, and treaty applicant in a specialty occupation A category will increase from $205 to $315. The $110 added to the existing fee amount to 53.7% increase. The fee changes will take effect on May 30, 2023. So end of this month.
Yanyanko.
When you're going?
Yanyanko.
You have to.
Yanyanko.
Oh, are they?
Hey.
But from
$160
to $185, that's you're just only adding $25.
Have you done the math in Ghana?
Okay, $25 to Ghana cities. Even if you peg it at 10.
Like that, 300.
Okay. So when you peg it at 10, that's like 250 cities.
Yeah, it's more than 10. So you look at around 300 Ghana.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, $300 Ghana.
What's go?
Oh.
Yeah, rich man.
And yes, you see, but the future, I'm a rich man. I can claim I'm a rich man.
You're still rich in Christ.
Amen. Amen. With Christ, all things are possible.
Yeah, man.
Anyway, so that's for by way of information for those of you who are willing to acquire U.S. visas, that from the end of this month, the fees are increasing. And I'm told that even for U.S., you cannot even apply now and get your visa. So whatever it is, those of us who want to acquire new visas will definitely pay these new charges. So get ready when you're going to request for or apply for a U.S. visa. Ben, I think that will be it for me here. I think that will be for me from this side. But you mentioned Dafiamapo, so maybe South Dai NDC primaries Dafiamapo for in tight race Incumbent Member of Parliament for South Dai constituency in the Volta region, Roxanne Nelson Dafiamapo, is facing serious competition in the National Democratic Congress Party primaries. He's being challenged by Ofosu Prosper Kwame in the primary slated for May 13, 2023. Following the tension in the race, vetting of the aspirant at the constituency level was heated, and the two had to attend another vetting at Ho, the Volta regional capital. Who wins that particular constituency would see how it turns out. But the finder has done some incredible work. You can get the paper and get details of that particular one. Okay, so Ben, that's it for me from the finder.
Kakari.
Kakari, that what's that? Maybe.
Let's do something.
So in my language, we say aweya.
What's it saying?
Aweya. Say muwe.
Aweya.
No.
Aweya.
No. Aweya.
Say that again.
Aweya.
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 Yeah, it means muwe.
If
you are done, you say muwe. So that's yeah.
Enyo. The Daily Guide newspaper now. Enyo. Special prosecutor invites Frimpong Boateng. I'm talking about the good old professor. We've clarified Akufo-Addo gold mafia story. That's according to Al Jazeera. Clarify, well, the clarification means the verdict still hangs, right, around the neck of our president. Afoko's accomplice appeals death sentence, and recently we saw that bit there about Gregory Afoko. He escaped, so to speak. There's going to be a retrial, if you like, or... Anyway, I'll get into the details of that story. Aisha Huang convicted. The story is on page 3. I want to get into this. And Otumfuo Lady Julia meets King Charles. Reckless populism on cathedral will fail. I'll look at that story as well. So... we've clarified the Akufo-Addo gold mafia story, according to Al Jazeera, and Qatar-headquartered international news network Al Jazeera has disclosed, responding to President Akufo-Addo's query regarding a damning allegation it televised recently. Following an expose, gold mafia in which a businessman, Alistair Matthias, claimed to have done gold business in Ghana, and that President Akufo-Addo was his lawyer, a claim the number one gentleman denied. In the correspondence of the network, the president's secretary, Nana Santi-Bediatu, demanded an unqualified apology from the network for televising a spurious documentary about President Akufo-Addo. Hints about the network's response to the president was gleaned from a May 3 correspondence from Al Jazeera. And it says, we have responded to the letter of the president to the Republic of Ghana, correcting some parts of its content and clarifying various points. Of course, we wrote from here to the network as well, Kwekwa Sante, my colleague, doing that. There was a response, and basically...
Maybe we can give our listeners the exact response from...
Do you have that available?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Let's quickly get that.
Okay, so...
but the simple point... Yes, go ahead.
So it says... So Kwekwa Sante did it. So the response says, Dear Mr. Sante, we have responded to the letter from the... Okay, Ben, help me. Is it letter or letter? It's neither. It is letter. Okay. So it's another one of those words that take a neutral sound. Okay. At the end. Okay. So ER, yes, but it's letter. Letter. Okay. So we have responded to the letter. Is that it? I'm getting. So, Charlie.
We'll do this after this.
From the president's office, correcting some part of its content and clarifying various points. So they corrected some part and clarified some point as well. Since the documentary did not actually allege what the president's office has suggested it did, we will not be apologizing or removing it from our publication. Our reply to the president's office was by way of a confidential letter. Thank you for your interest in Al Jazeera's journalism. Best wishes. Al Jazeera's investigative unit. So that's it. That's the response.
Well. Aisha Huang convicted, and Accra High Court has convicted Chinese national and Galamsey Queen and Huang, popularly known as Aisha Huang, for re-entering Ghana illegally following her deportation in December 2018. The conviction followed the decision by the accused to change her initial not guilty plea to guilty as part of a plea bargaining agreement with the Office of the Attorney General. She had initially pleaded not guilty to a charge of entering Ghana while prohibited from re-entry, contrary to Section 24 of the Immigration Act 2000, that is Act 573. The prosecution, of course, was led by the Director of the Public Prosecution, Yvonne Atakra Obuobisa. In pushing to establish the guilt of the accused, she called 11 witnesses, some of whom are immigration officers, police officers, farmers, and a sub-chief. So at least some conclusivity on this matter. But finally, Executive Director of the National Cathedral of Ghana, Dr. Paul Opoku-Mensah, has indicated that the cathedral project has been carried out with integrity and without criminality. According to him, reckless populism and reputationally damaging accusations leveled against officials, as well as misinformation and distortions about the project, will eventually fail. He's talking about more light that has been shed or thrown on this matter recently by Member of Parliament for North Tongue, Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa. Respectfully, Dr. Opoku-Mensah, I respect your views, but I humbly disagree. I always say, I'm very Christian, Kojo, very Catholic, but if your children are hungry, and you say you are going to use the money to build something, me, I don't know. I'm not saying anything, but there are so many Christians. In fact, I am certain if this matter were to be put to the vote, and they said all Christians should vote, more than 90% will vote against that cathedral. So give us a break, yeah?
Well, but I mean, this cathedral started in the first time, isn't it?
Did it? Yeah. I think he said it shortly after becoming president that this was his godly charge, his promise to God. But if it's your promise to God...
It has not moved from the foundation level, has it?
No, it hasn't.
Really? After all the monies that have been sunk?
We're looking at over $400 million. The initial projection, 100 million. We're looking at 4 times that. Do you know what that could do in our economy? I've done something on that in the past, on Blunt Thoughts, giving a breakdown in terms of how many kilometers of roads, in terms of this or that. Charlie, honestly, I feel leadership in Africa, especially here in Ghana, is very problematic. People can say everything they like about Paul Kagame in Rwanda. I have my own concerns with how he's going about it. People had their concerns when Lee Kuan Yew was doing it in Singapore. Look at them today. People from here travel there, right? Yeah. You feel good going there. Same thing. Some of our leaders, I don't know. This morning, I don't want to say anything that will...
Anyway, now over to the Ghanaian publisher.
Oh, you know what? Before you go, let me just sneak in sports.
Okay.
Messi is set to quit PSG. I hear Al Hilal wants him for...
Well,
is it about $400 million
dollars a year. But the way he's going,
and then Haaland has broken an EPL record.
As for Haaland,
I'm happy for this young man.
Yeah, Charlie.
Very happy for him. He's not in my team, but he's doing an amazing job.
Yeah, but I'm not happy that he's doing outside of Manchester United, really.
Oh, it is what it is. That's
he
life.
Should have been.
You win some, you lose some.
He should have been a United shirt.
When Ruud van Nistelrooy, he's broken Ruud's record. When Ruud was doing it for us, we didn't complain. You can't have it all.
Well, no, we should have it all.
Oh, really?
We're the best in England.
We're still the best in the world.
Best in Britain.
Biggest fan base.
So we should have the best, you know. Haaland should choose us, not any other team.
So why is Ashlevi, our director, screaming in my ears that
he doesn't
and we should win trophies? Haven't we won the Carabao Cup?
No.
Aren't we heading to win the FA Cup?
What is his team, really? What team does he support?
Ashlevi, tell me, whisper in my ear, which team do you support again?
Chelsea, I think.
You see, he can't talk. He can't talk.
I think it's Chelsea.
I'm sure he's one of those Blues fans.
Yeah.
Where are they on the league log again? 11th or 12th?
No, hold on. It's not 11th though. They are struggling to survive. They're in the relegation zone.
But I pray for them. I hope they don't get relegated.
They should go because they talk too much.
Tobo.
They should learn a lesson. No, they should learn a lesson. Really.
Let's get into other stories.
Now,
so
we are dodo. Akoda umfin yini yenso pese oni mpenifo na egro.
This man, mafia.
Now to the Ghanaian publisher, and over 100 MPP MPs endorsed Bawumia, and that's according to Farouk Aliyu Mahama. Now, the flag bearership ambition of Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia has received a major boost following the massive endorsement by the majority caucus in Parliament, according to Member of Parliament for Yendi constituency, Umar Farouk Aliyu Mahama. A lot of the MPs from the governing Union Patriotic Party are rooting for Dr. Bawumia to be elected the next flag bearer of the party. Now, there's a quote from him. As for me and the majority MPs, we are rooting for the vice president, and it is a fact And we are bold enough to say that we want Mahamudu Bawumia to take us to the promised land and also unite the party after the elections. Although we are yet to meet the other presidential hopefuls, it was clear during our meeting with the Vice President that everybody in the room wants Dr. Bawumia, and we are not saying that everyone wants him, but at least over 100 MPs want him, end quote. So that's where we are. Let's see how it progresses. And yesterday we saw that an announcement of him officially declaring to contest the flag bearership race. It will be an interesting race to see. Coming up against, Alan Kojo Chiramanting,
Mr. NATO. No action, talk only.
Former.
He said it in terms of our national development. The picture has been like. But that's one of the races I'm looking forward to. Neck and neck.
Yeah.
But
it will be interesting.
Wouldn't it be even more surprising if someone else we're not looking at overtook those two? Now that would be a bombshell.
Someone to overtake them.
Yes.
No, it will be really.
This is politics.
World. Yes.
You remember Sir John?
Yeah, yes, I do.
Fear delegates.
I do, yes.
I'm sure even in his grave, respectfully, he's still afraid of delegates.
I do, but sometimes when you see the reality staring at you, you cannot look the other side.
Of course, we're thinking, we know, even from the surveys that have been conducted, both of them.
Yes.
But I'm saying, wouldn't it be even more of a bombshell?
Yeah, I think Kennedy,
an outsider.
Kennedy Japan can really do that because of his, he's loved by the grassroots.
Yes,
and this is Kennedy, really. If you look at the MPP, he has a hold on the grassroots. And this is a primary that a lot of these guys will have opportunity of voting in. So the thing is that Kennedy can really do that, but in reality, it's a fight between
he can pull a surprise.
Alan and Dr. Bawumia, but Kennedy can also pull a huge surprise there.
All right, so the new weekend crusading guide, Boku Crisis, plans to deploy that special task force. National Cathedral Secretariat tackles critics, and filling fuel tanks to the brim is dangerous. MPA cautions motorists, someone I know say dangerous. It's dangerous, so watch it. Anyway, I have this, you're done with your stack of papers, right?
Yes, I'm done with mine.
All right, so we're going into sports now. This one says, happy birthday to King David King David Vo of Studio Vo, a.k.a. Shito. Aha, King David. I wish you long life and prosperity, especially good health. I thank God for your life. This is from your daughter, Awujifa Miriam. Today is your day, and I thank you for being a great father and role model. Love you forever. That's to you, King David. And it's also from me as well. King David Vo of Studio Vo, a.k.a. Shito. All right.
And today is the birthday of one of us, Justice Beidou. Was born on the 5th of May. So today is Justice Beidou's birthday. So Justice, wherever you are, he's a fantastic young guy. I mean, very ambitious about what he intends to do and very hardworking. He's an incredible storyteller.
You'll be shocked.
You listen to his story and you're like, wow, how is this guy able to do what he does, So Justice, wherever you are, let me do this in a hunter, please. Forgive me.
We don't get time.
Manumai, in the day, a room of all world. Yamanamaze Yila, na Edumwano, Imani by Baniba, Babeva Magana Mani is the Kabla Mawa, Yamanamaza, Edons Ruba by Guazo. Na Wonka, a war, Nam is wine, a wine Zubalane, a Ren Mevama, Ole, Audababa Bay, a Huemo, Kabla Mawa. Happy birthday to my brother Kingsley, Justice Beidou.
Right.
There's a third name, but I'm not going to release it now.
So we're also celebrating Denisia Poma J.
Hey!
Oh yeah, our very own Poma. Our partner in. We'll not say it on.
I want to start dancing. Like I'm giggling. Where is she? She's back there.
Oh,
right?
she's been out of the M zone for a while.
Please.
M zone. She's just hibernating. She says she'll come back with batteries like fully rejuvenated.
I'm sure she's watching. Poma is a lovely young lady.
So let's do this for Denisia Poma Ej together with all the others. And I hear she has a very good relationship with a certain Nicholas Yamwa.
Oh,
yeah.
I won't be surprised.
They're very good friends.
I won't be. The marker of our English in the house. Poma. Hey!
Poma is head of the Mischief Makers Association. She's my boss. Anyway, to all of you celebrating your birthdays today, shall we?
Yeah.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, all of you. Happy birthday to you.
Hip, hip, hip. Hooray. I'm only able to sing when you are here because you cover my...
I inspire you. I give you inspiration.
Yeah. That's why I love to sing alongside.
On that note, Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic allowing us to bring you this segment. We're offering free prostate screening, free female fertility screening. Locate us in Accra, Spintex, opposite the Shell signboard. Kumasi Kronomabwe here behind the Angel Educational Complex. Takrade Anaji Estate, Tema Community 22. Techiman Hanswa and Siama and Nzima. You can reach us on 0244 867 068 or 0274 234 321. Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic, the end to chronic disease. Now, coming up on Prime Take, it's an interaction with one of Ghana's hottest strikers right now. Eric Bekwe is on our radar. Sports Prime Take up next.